All right, so we're
man.
moving on to the comeback player of the year. And these finalists are Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, J.K. Dobbins, and we ain't kidding, Christian Gonzalez, and Damar Hamlin. All right,
Man.
BC, we're going to
This was
have you
tough,
start
man.
this
This
one
was
off.
tough.
Who do you like in the comeback player of the year? And honestly, before I say that real quick, how the hell, why is Joe Burrow in here?
Yeah.
He messed up his knee. He's messed up his knee last year, and he didn't play.
they're just
Yeah,
trying to get this guy a award because he's not probably going to win MVP. They're just trying to get him something because of the season he
Yeah.
had. But like comeback
Yep.
player of the year, come on, man.
Yeah,
And
I don't
Damar
like him
Hamlin,
on the
I would
list
think
either.
he's
I don't like
another
him.
one.
Yeah, I don't either, and I'll just say this: like, if I had to pick the MVP, it would have been Joe Burrow. But because they stuck him on here, and because, like you said, they're trying to give him something because he had such a great season. I feel like J.K. Dobbins should get it because rupturing your Achilles this day and age is like the new ACL tear. It's
And
supposed to,
the knee before that,
yeah, like
before that.
that dude has more knee damage than I have, and then like my gosh, like that.
Well,
But
you're also a professional football player, so it makes sense.
yeah, well, but I mean, like I said though, like that's
He's
supposed
a
to be the.
professional cowboy.
That's
Yeah,
what I
there we
see.
go. There we go. Frisco
He's
Cowboy.
been bucking Broncos.
Rhinestone
Been bucking Broncos for the last
Cowboy.
few days.
But shout out to the Osceola Ranchers. Anyway, J.K. Dobbins should win this award. I'm just gonna say that plain and simple.
Okay.
Like I said, ACL rupture, that should be something that ends your career, or at least like it should prevent you from ever reaching the levels that Dobbins reached. He should win it, but because the way the narrative is going to be set up, they're going to give it to Burrow. He's just every other award he's up for, he's not going to win, and we'll explain why later. But it's going to be Joe Burrow. I don't like saying it. I think this kind of goes against what comeback player of the year should be. It shouldn't be an award, I think, where you just give to somebody that kind of played like a little bit and was kind of a contributor, but didn't really do a whole lot. But I also don't think that it should go. It should be a consolation prize because you didn't win these other awards. So I don't like it, but I'm gonna reluctantly go with Joe Burrow here in this one.
All right, so your
Yeah,
pick, you think that's going to win. Your pick would be
My pick would be Dobbins, but I'm
you
gonna
think he's
say,
fine, right, okay.
but the NFL is gonna
the
go with Joe
narrative. The
Burrow.
narrative.
Yeah, narrative's gonna be Burrow.
All right, G Mike, what you got?
I got JK too, man. I mean, he was a big part of that Chargers offense. He's one of the big reasons why they made the playoffs. Obviously, they got Justin Herbert over there, but Justin Herbert's throwing to guys like us. Like guys are not catching the ball out there. Even though Luke, I forgot to pronounce his name, but the
Oh, Lat
rookies
Conky.
like Conkey, thank you.
Yeah.
The rookie wide receiver, he had a phenomenal year, and I think he's gonna keep having phenomenal years. But
Oh
he
yeah.
was playing the slot position most of the time, so it's hard for him
Tough
to
call.
really get open like that. Even though he was getting open like that, because you got linebackers covering you, corners and
Yeah.
safeties watching
You
over
need
the
a
top.
number one.
But you need a number one, a number two at least, and he could be a number two. But
Yeah.
you want bigger guys on the outside, so they cause more of a threat, so the
Yeah.
teams can play more cover two zone and stuff like that.
Yeah. He plays
And
like
then
Chris Godwin really well.
yeah, yeah. But J.K. Dobbins, man, coming off of major knee surgery, Achilles tear, then coming back and having such a great season for the Chargers, helping them lead the way into the playoffs, man, I think it was freaking phenomenal. And I think he's going to have better seasons with the Chargers. And obviously, with the head coach that loves to run the ball, I think is going to be a great recipe for success.
All right, so I'll go opposite of you guys. I'm going to go Sam Darnold. I think it's not the fact of injury that happened to Sam Darnold. It was just the actual resurgence of Sam Darnold that why he was number one, number two pick. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember what it was, but Sam Darnold had an absolutely amazing year, a career year. You guys made fun of me a couple of weeks ago because I was saying that he possibly could be up for MVP kind of thing, but I think Sam Darnold was in that caliber of he's on that tier on the outside. I don't think he should have been up for an award for it. But I do think that he definitely should be in that conversation. He had a hell of a year. That's also my narrative with Kevin O'Connell. I think the Minnesota Vikings were very impressive this year. Although Sam Darnold did fall apart when it mattered in the very end, he went back to looking average at best. But if you go over his overall package of the year, I think that he had a fantastic year. So I'm going to go Sam Darnold, and it's not because of injury. It's just because the guy flat out played. Now, I agree with you, BC, completely that Joe Burrow deserves, they should just give him like a gold medal for something, because I agree. I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off. And the season that he had was absolutely amazing. But comeback for the year, I'm going to go with Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold, I think, is going to get re-signed either with Minnesota or going to go to another franchise and be a starter again. And that's what actually being a comeback player besides injury. It's not it has to be injury. It's literally resurging your career.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Sam Darnold in this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say that was one that was kind of tough for me too, because that was literally Baker last year, and he got snubbed for comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's I would say
that's a great one that got snubbed. I think in this one as well, because Baker literally was pretty much held out to dry. So I agree with you on that one.
He got snubbed in the Pro Bowl voting, which pissed me off. But that's again topic for another day. But yeah, I will say like this. I will say this needs to be one where we look at it as like you weren't expected to do much and you came out of nowhere, or you were injured and you had a great season. And again, I know Burrow technically had that happen, but he's also already won comeback player of the year. So it's like, we're going to really make this guy we have two guys on the list that could be 2-time comeback player of the year. Like, and one of them's could be consecutive, or no, not consecutive, because that was the year before. But it's like, what are we doing? We're doing like 2 comeback player of the years. Like that's
if we're gonna go that route, then all right, guys, we get it. Damar Hamlin, something happened to you. Like, come on, man. Are you really like? How many times are we gonna be able to say that you're comeback guy of the year? Come on.
That's what I was gonna say. Why is he on this list?
Like,
that was last year. Like I get it, last year, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you had a horrible thing happen to you, but there's other guys that could have maybe deserved that.
Yeah, so it's one of those things like we're just handing it out to at this point. It's going to be given to Joe Burrow, but it's like honestly, it should be either between Darnold or Dobbins because they're the best stories in terms of those perspective qualities of either injury or a career resurgence, in my opinion.
All right, so we'll go ahead and break this down one more time. BC, go ahead and what's your pick?
Reluctantly Joe Burrow, but G Mike's got the right pick in my opinion.
G Mike, what's your pick?
J.K. Dobbins, man. Bad injury to his knee, bad to his Achilles, comes back, has a great year for the Chargers, takes him to the playoffs.
All right, I'm going to go Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold for the 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and had a QBR of 60.5. That's a hell of a year for Sam Darnold. So I'm going to go Sam Darnold as my comeback player of the year.